Well, Google quietly rolled out a brand new web browser last week. It's called Chrome, and it's far more advanced than the current version. It also poses a competitive threat to all the other tech companies out there. Also, Chrome's search capacity allows users to access sometimes highly personal information about almost anyone, leading some to wonder what Google is really after. Joining us now is Mike Malone. He's a columnist with abcnews.com and the editor of edgelings.com. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So what is so insidious about Chrome in your view?
Well, it's not strictly speaking insidious. It's just the implications of where Google is going now. Google's avowed goal has always been to be the conduit to all the world's information. And I think now, 10 years down the road, and with the arrival of Chrome, we're starting to see what that really means.
Well, an early reviewer reported that he was able to enter an online banking site using Chrome and access account numbers and balances and transaction activity. Is this still the case, or was that a security hole that they've closed?
I haven't heard of them closing it yet, and I'm not even sure it was a security mistake. I think that's just the sheer power of Chrome, and I think that's a bit disconcerting. I think people are starting to worry about all this. The question really comes down to now, do you trust Google with all of the world's information?
Yeah, a tech reporter recently blogged that a Google insider told him that Google is tracking users' search trails and their identities. This hasn't been confirmed, but if so, what are the implications?
Well, there's a thing called deep packet inspection, and that's the ability to go into your search history and not only find out where you went, but actually find out who you are. And until now, these web companies have pretty much stayed away from that. But I think the pressure of competition and the needs of advertisers are beginning to push them towards going into this information. And the federal government's quite concerned about it, and I think individual citizens should be very worried about this part.
Well, Google has reportedly agreed to censor the searches in authoritarian regimes like China, you say. So what does this say about Google's intentions politically?
Well, I think that's what's begun to worry people. If we're going to entrust a corporation with all of the world's information, the question is, are they worthy of that trust? And a few years ago, I think most people would have said, yeah, probably. But after watching the transformation of Google in recent years and what went on in China and other places, I'm not sure people are so sure anymore.
Yeah, last year, a small internet operation called Inner City Press was yanked off Google News after exposing alleged UN corruption. And Google had reportedly started working with the UN not long before that. And Google told the editor-in-chief, well, we got a complaint, so we took down your site. Well, what if someone complained about the New York Times site? One complaint? Do you believe there are other motives there?
No, I think there's something much more interesting, and that is companies like Google are oftentimes driven by what can we do technologically, and they begin to lose track of the larger context of society and law and individual privacy. And I think that's what's begun to happen with Google. We've saw it over the years. eBay for a long time refused to police its own site, assuming that its users would, until criminals began running cons. We watched Intel with the Pentium bug, where it forgot that with the Intel Inside campaign, it was convincing individual citizens out there that the Intel processor was what they could depend upon. Yeah. So companies, as they grow big and grow very successful and grow very powerful, oftentimes lose track of the characteristics and the rules that made them successful in the first place.
All right, Pandora's box is open. Mike Malone, thank you so much, and a very interesting article.
Thank you.